Good morning, everyone. My name is Clinton Windvogel. Today is the third video in our Chronicles of the Coast series. I hope you've been watching so far. I would like to introduce you to Mr. Edward Richards, who will be speaking to us about marine crime. Edward, can you please introduce yourself to the viewers?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Edward Richards, and I'm the Marine Support Officer, Marine and Coast Operations. I'm very excited to be talking to you about crime within the environment today.
To start off, Edward, tell us what you will be covering in today's video.
Well, Clinton, I will be talking about compliance monitoring and enforcement, which both form part of a critical part of the marine protected management process. We have to implement the different local, provincial and national laws of the country in order to ensure that the results of the ecological monitoring program are not undermined by illegal harvesting of species. We will also be talking about the impact of illegal activities on local communities and the process we follow to curb these illegal activities.
Edward, I'm sure you've seen a lot of interesting things in your line of work throughout your career. If you were to think back, what was the most memorable marine resources crime that you were involved in?
Clinton, the most exciting was a well-organized and integrated operation with all the local enforcement agencies and the South African National Defence Force aimed at the prevention of abalone poaching. This was a high-impact operation, and we were able to cover several marine protected areas and fisheries management areas. Education and awareness interventions is also vital in combating crime. An example of the impact of successful integrated enforcement operations can be provided by an example where in 2018, there were several hundred poachers between Gordons Bay and Kleinmond on a daily basis. Successful operations have reduced these numbers to under 50 divers a day during 2023.
Edward, I'm sure it is exciting, but also nerve-wracking at the same time, meaning that rangers and staff putting their lives at risk very often. What makes it worthwhile? How often do we win?
Yes, it's extremely exciting working with integrated enforcement teams. We plan operations weekly and ensure arrest and seizures weekly as well. I'm part of a very motivated team that is learning to adapt to poaching activities on a daily basis. It must be emphasized that a single win is not the objective. Ongoing intensive pressure on the poaching enterprises is the aim. Keep abalone and rock lobster in the ocean is our goal.
Are there any other operations that come to mind, Edward?
Clinton, yes, taking part in investigations aimed at kingpins involved with abalone poaching is very interesting and is totally different to high-risk operations in the field. There is a more patient, almost scientific approach to this that really interests me. Collecting evidence and building quality dockets takes time up to the point of prosecution. The time spent on these cases, however, is worth the effort with good results in court.
That's great to hear, Edward. So, how does marine crime affect the marine environment and us as people? Why should we care?
Clinton, illegal harvesting of species like abalone results in poachers accessing quick money. In general, these people laugh at community members carrying out normal jobs. This corrupts society and makes heroes of people carrying out illegal activities. In addition to this, due to the high numbers of species being harvested by these illegal activities, less resources are available to legal fishers. Poaching has resulted in a total ban on abalone harvesting by the recreational fishers and reduction in commercial harvesting below economical viable level. The easy money is often then linked to the drug trade, which then impacts negatively on the youth at the area.
What is CapeNature doing about it, and what advice would you give to other agencies when it comes to marine crime?
Yeah, well, we follow the five-pillar approach, and I believe that integrated operations involving all mandated enforcement agencies is the way to go. Basically, the five-pillar approach is five different focus points, which include on the first pillar, intelligence, where we gather intelligence and use it for further operations. Secondly, we look at proactive enforcement, where normal visible policing is done. Thirdly, we look at reactive enforcement, where we do operations on a reactive basis and react to illegal activities. Fourthly, we do investigations up to the point of prosecution, building dockets. And lastly, most importantly, the awareness where we engage with the community and get them involved in reporting these activities.
That's great to hear, Edward. And it's not only agencies that can make a difference. Isn't that so, Edward?
Absolutely, Clinton. The general public can also make a difference by making sure that they always act legally, whether it's be back limits or permits when they go out fishing. They can also report any suspicious activity and stop these criminals harvesting our seas.
Thank you, Edward. Anything else you would like to share with us?
Clinton, I would really like to reiterate and urge the public to always be compliant to all regulations to ensure our marine resources are protected and conserved for generations to come.
Thank you, Edward. And we will certainly view marine crime or marine biodiversity crime in a completely different way in future. That brings us to the end or almost to the last video in our Chronicles of the Coast series, which will be broadcasted tomorrow. Don't miss it. And please visit our website at www.capenature.co.za. Thank you and goodbye.
Goodbye, Clinton and everyone.